On December 18th, 2021, voice actress Sayaka Kanda was found laying unconscious, bare feet on the 14th floor of a hotel in a pool of blood. She was staying in Hokkaido, northern Japan, to play the main character role of the musical My Fair Lady on that very day. So what happened? Who did this? And how did it come to this just before another big role? Sayaka Kanda was no ordinary child. She was born in the heart of Tokyo as the child of nationwide famous actors Kanda Masaki and Matsuda Seiko. The history of entertainers even extended throughout her family, and she was essentially a rich celebrity child. While some may see this as privileged or lucky, her life as a child was, to put it simply, hell. Acting came with long and abnormal work hours for both her parents, so Sayaka was primarily raised by her grandma. What's worse though is, due to her parents' fame, even at a very young age, Sayaka was constantly followed around and scrutinized by the paparazzi, with the situation escalating so bad that her mother had to hire bodyguards to accompany Sayaka wherever she went. I'm sorry, doing this to a child is absolutely disgusting. It's insane how the paparazzi is just okay doing this. At only 10 years old, tragedy struck as Sayaka's parents filed for divorce, with custody going to her mother. Sayaka's life quickly spiraled out of control to a very, very dark childhood. She was constantly bullied by her peers for both her celebrity lineage and their divorce. And the bullying was so severe she had to transfer schools multiple times. But with her parents' fame, no matter where she went in Japan, her parents' identity would be found out and the bullying cycle would begin once again. At 13 years old, with few other options, and her mother's acting career booming, Sayaka ended up going to Los Angeles for middle school, attending a Japanese school there in hopes of turning her life around. Unfortunately, America did not exactly fare better for Sayaka. She didn't speak a lick of English, and hence found it difficult to befriend anyone. At the same time, her mother remarried in America, and Sayaka found it very awkward living with her stepdad, some stranger she didn't know. Seeing no more hope in the land of the free, Sayaka would very soon move back to Japan, but not before making her first small breakthrough, a hint for what was to come. In August 1999, at 13 years old, Sayaka applied for an audition in Los Angeles, an elementary school heroine in the film Bean Cake by David Greenspan, and got the role. The film ended up being a massive success, winning the Palme d'Or, the highest possible award given to short films, in 2001. With this achievement in hand, Sayaka returned to Japan, gaining an interest in the entertainment industry, and just like her parents, would soon begin her journey into entertainment. At first, Sayaka once again attempted school when returning to Japan, but to no avail. She was known as a second-generation celebrity by everyone, having this reputation that everything was handed to her on a silver platter and was, again, bullied. Many schools even rejected her because of her celebrity lineage. This is a prime example of one's bloodline truly being a curse. After transferring to 4 different schools and getting the exact same results, Sayaka had had enough and decided to fully go towards entertainment. Sayaka began on a low profile. She started by writing songs for her mother's artist career under a pen name, Alice, without revealing her identity. Very quickly though, Sayaka would stop hiding and properly make her debut in an ice cream commercial, Ice no Mi, under the stage name Sayaka, like all capital letters. Ironically, again, because of her reputation as a second-generation star, people in the industry would compare her to her mother's achievements and reject her from roles, leaving her in quite a depressed state. But eventually, with enough hard work, Sayaka would start making a name for herself. She got a contract as an artist with Sony, the same label as her mother, and officially debuted as an artist. She even appeared at her mother's concert in Saitama Super Arena, one of Japan's most prestigious venues, and performed her debut song there. In the coming years, she expanded into multiple fields. First came acting in films, debuting in Dragon Head, a Japanese disaster film, and School Wars Hero. Next came TV dramas, such as Yankee Boko ni Kairu and Mito Komon. After that came musical theater as Little Red Riding Hood in the musical Into the Woods. With such a quick rise in multiple mediums, you'd expect her to shoot up as a huge star in the coming years. But a big conflict that would change everything thing was about to happen. Up until then, Sayaka had a pretty good relationship with her mother, being raised by her and all. But in 2005, she made the decision to date guitarist Masato Kitano, a divorced man 12 years older than her. Sayaka's mother strongly opposed this relationship due to the man's divorce history and age, and this caused a pretty big conflict between Sayaka and her mother. Sayaka decided to leave home due to the opposition, and in response, her mother cut off her financial support, leaving Sayaka to support herself and live independently. As a result of this, and being lost in life, not sure what to do, Sayaka took a hiatus from the entertainment industry and started working at a seafood restaurant. Now, normally, one would think that going from celebrity to waitress is an insane downgrade, but the opposite held true for Sayaka. For the first time, she didn't feel any pressure or effects of her parents' legacy. No one hailed her as the kid of nation-famous stars. For the very first time in her life, she felt like she herself was trusted and needed by an outsider, and felt dignity through working for her own money. It almost seemed like this was a better career path and a genuinely happier life for Sayaka. She very seriously considered simply quitting entertainment and just working a normal full-time job. However, after 1.5 years, for reasons never stated, Sayaka would end her hiatus and once again return to the entertainment industry. Upon her return, Sayaka used a new stage name, the name we know her as to this very day, Sayaka Kanda. She tried making a name for herself in stage plays, possibly because it was an industry her mother had rarely appeared in. She came back in December 2006 with the stage play The Tale of Murasaki Shikibu, and since then, her career has only looked upwards. Over the next few years, big roles would come to her such as in Grease, She Loves Me, and even Danganronpa the stage play, Peter Pan, and the well-known Les Miserables. These performances really solidified her reputation as a top-tier stage actress, and in 2018, after over 10 long years of acting, she won the 43rd Kikuta Kazuo Award for her portrayal of LA Woods in the musical Legally Blonde. On the music side of things, Sayaka actually stood together with her mother on the stage of Kohaku, possibly Japan's biggest yearly TV program with half the country's households watching, twice in both 2011 and 2014. On a side note, ever since Sayaka started cleaving her own way in the entertainment world, her relationship with her mother had drastically improved, leaving the past dating drama behind. In 2014, she also started a band called Trust Stick with a guitarist. The band only lasted 2 years before disbanding, but she built a loyal fan base, and it served as good proof that she was extremely musically talented. On the flip side, Sayaka also delved into voice acting starting in about 2010. She grew up with anime and deeply loved it, so much so that she attended a voice acting training school at the same time as all the stage play and musical stuff. This is not official, but I also do wonder if it's because her mother didn't do voice acting. Sayaka finally debuted in Good Luck Girl as Nadeshiko. Prominent roles from then include Kaede from Danganronpa 3, Nagase in Idly Pride, and Yuna from SAO. But by far her biggest role, and this is not even comparable to the rest, is Anna from Frozen. Look, they call it anime in Japan, okay? Her role in Frozen single-handedly won her the Best Lead Actress Award at the 9th Seiyuu Awards in 2015, and honestly is probably a huge reason why she's seen as a relatively big voice actress. Frozen is huge. After about a decade's worth of hard work, Sayaka managed to build a career in stage plays, acting, voice acting, and singing, an exceedingly rare feat. And finally, in 2017, she would announce her marriage to actor Mitsumurata, a fellow actor she met in the Danganronpa stage play. However, after a decade's worth of success, this is where everything started to go wrong. In October 2019, a gossip magazine, Woman 7, discovered Sayaka going to the house of Akiyama Taiga, a member of a boys band, at 2:30 a.m., staying the night over and only leaving the next day, accusing her of cheating behind her husband's back. This scandal caused Taiga to be fired from his agency, and subsequently his boys band disbanded. Fans online were outraged, endlessly flaming her online. With no other choice, to protect her reputation, Sayaka revealed the truth. She had already been divorced. In hindsight, Sayaka's marriage, while a happy occurrence, was something she did only 1 year after meeting Murata, something most people would consider way too fast. And in 2019, they would both officially announce a divorce, stating the reason being that they they couldn't agree on what to do with children in the future. Sayaka's relationship with Taiga also fell through in 2 years after all the stress given by the whole scandal. Finally, in 2021, Sayaka would get together with Takahisa Maeyama, another actor she met the same year in stage plays, Oke no Monsho and My Fair Lady. On the surface, it seemed all good, like another relationship with potential to blossom. But very soon in December of the same year, the worst of the worst would happen. Let me set the scene for you. It was the morning of December 18th, 2021. Sayaka had flown to the Hokkaido prefecture to perform in a showing of My Fair Lady, but something strange was up. It was way past the agreed upon meeting time and Sayaka was nowhere to be found. The venue staff tried contacting her but to no avail. After being severely late, staff became concerned and decided to call the Hokkaido police. The police quickly arrived at the hotel she was staying at and after 2 hours of searching, found her lying in an outdoor space on the 14th floor buried in snow, bare feet and profusely bleeding. An ambulance was called but by then, she had already been in cardiac arrest and soon Sayaka was pronounced officially dead at a hospital. This was such a sudden thing that seemed to come out of nowhere, especially to such a big celebrity, so police began their investigation. The first thing they noticed when they found her body was a window on a higher floor that was left about 10 cm wide open. Since the official cause of her death was a traumatic shock due to a fall from a high place, it can be concluded that she fell or jumped out of said window. The police came to the quick conclusion that there was no foul play and that it could possibly have been a suicide, but they couldn't be 100% sure. However, they claimed there was nothing wrong with the hotel's safety measures. Everyone thought this would be as much as we'd get out of the investigation. But a few days later, out of nowhere, Bunshun, an infamous paparazzi magazine, published an article with an eerie amount of detail about how Sayaka had left 2 suicide notes. Okay, so keep in mind, everything I say from here on out is all alleged. You probably know that gossip magazines aren't exactly the most reliable source. Most people online seem to believe it as the entire story is quite consistent. But here's the gist of it. One note was to Maeyama, her boyfriend at the time. It allegedly said, "You shouldn't use such strong words towards girls. I just wanted to live together with you, be happy with you, raise kids with you. I truly love you." The article claims that the two actually had plans to move in and live together, but Maeyama backed out last second, like after they had gone house searching and settled on a place and everything already, leaving Sayaka shocked and in distraught. There was also allegedly a lot of conflict in their relationship, as apparently Maeyama was still in contact with his ex-girlfriend, an idol, leaving the three in somewhat of a love triangle. Maeyama denies this as he says he and Sayaka had broken up only 2 months into the relationship, but Sayaka's close friends find this claim suspicious, as they said Sayaka had told them for a very long time, far past 2 months, that her relationship with Maeyama was a serious one. The relationship was even possibly an abusive one, as Bunshun, the gossip magazine, claims to have audio recording of Maeyama telling Sayaka, "Just go die, everyone would be happy," and says Maeyama tells Sayaka to go die a lot. I don't know how the hell they got this audio recording, but whether or not this specific recording was true, Maeyama eventually admitted to verbally abusing Sayaka, something that enraged people online. A look into Sayaka's past would further explain her stress. For the past years, Sayaka allegedly has had about 8 to 10 different ex-partners, quite a few of them with marriage in the talks way faster than an average couple would consider. It is possible that she felt the pressure of getting married or having kids, especially in Asian society, and it would explain her distraught and stress regarding failed relationships, but again, that's just a theory. Afterwards, many media outlets looked into Sayaka and found the many problems she had allegedly been facing. One of them being the recent death of her beloved pet dog, who was like family to her, which devastated her. Another one was vocal issues she had been facing that kept worsening, and by the time of the Hokkaido performance, she allegedly needed surgery already and was extremely worried about if she would never be able to continue her acting and voice acting career again. This one at least is most likely true, as her co-workers for the Hokkaido performance said that Sayaka had been venting her frustrations about this up until the day before her death. Some outlets also report that Sayaka had been visiting a psychosomatic clinic and been taking prescription medicine. If all this is true, it's no wonder why Sayaka felt so much distress, and while we may never fully know the truth, I personally do believe the story that she committed suicide. Sayaka's parents eventually made a public press appearance about the incident, and they were both understandably extremely distraught. Meanwhile, Maeyama at first holed himself up in the hotel for a week until he was eventually put under psychiatric care back in Tokyo, his family looking after him. He faced extreme backlash online, forcing him to go on a hiatus from acting and eventually retire. He did try once to return to acting last year, making an Instagram and YouTube with an apology video, and was actually hired for a stage play, but two of the actresses refused to show up with Maeyama working there, causing the stage play to be cancelled, and the internet never forgave him, forcing him back into retirement. With comments like this, some people think he's an unhinged psychopath. His YouTube videos have comments turned off, and it looks like he has given up on social media as well. To this very day, there are also conspiracy theories that the gossip articles are fake. Sayaka didn't actually commit suicide, and her death was actually an accident, with her carelessly falling out of the window, and the police covering it up for the hotel to not get shut down for safety concerns. But again, everything is just claims, and honestly, I think this one is quite unfounded. The story of Sayaka Kanda is a tragic one. A child born into a world of problems just because of her very blood, to eventually find her own way, only for everything to crumble down. When I was doing research for the video, I always wondered to myself, if at that point in time, Sayaka had just quit entertainment and continued being the waitress that she was, would things have turned out differently? Would she have met a different person and had the family that she wanted? This is a question we'll never get the answer to, but it serves as a reminder that no matter how shiny or privileged the person on the other side of the screen may seem, fame can always be a deadly curse. Special thanks to Vicente Pagani and all my other Patreons and members for supporting the channel.